Every small town in the country has got a damn haunted witch's bridge. Everybody likes to go party and let's go down to the witch's bridge. Let's get fucked up and go down to the witch's bridge and stir some shit up. And being a person that's from southern Appalachia, particularly the coal fields, I've heard 1,000 times, oh, what is it? Is it true that if you whistle in the woods, if you pull your pecker out and piss on an electric fence, it'll blow your balls off? No, ain't none of that fucking true. I live within 3 or 4 cattle gates and damn old houses and shit. Oh boy, took his life right there. If you go down there on the 3rd of every 3rd month at 3 o'clock, he'll be down there taking a piss, seeing if you got any money for a pack of cigarettes. Anyway, back to the damn story. I'll tell you how I was fucking terrified. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was terrified by this shit, and I didn't believe in nothing until this. It's funny, too, because if you're from a small town in the country, there's always, like, people that are way older than all the young people that still hang out with the young people, and they get fucked up, and they're always driving, and you don't never know who it is that's driving. Like, oh, that's my homeboy. That's my home. Did you say his name was Randall? I don't know about y'all, but I have never met nobody under the age of 43 that's name was fucking Randall. He's gonna fuck one of us, and I'm... But no, for real, if you're from the country, you done any party and have any fun, you ain't got no damn mall to go to. We just got a McDonald's in my hometown like 5 years ago. We don't have no fucking Walmart. Where I'm from, son, you chase us, you go to church, or you dodge withdrawals. That's just what you do. Or you work in the coal mines to do all three. But anyway, I was hanging out with my double-sided douchebag, dirtbag friend Derek, and he said, let's go down to the witch's bridge, man. I'll call that bitch out. About 16 minutes after this whole ordeal happened, I was thinking, the next time a motherfucker ever asked me if I want to go to the witch's bridge and get fucked up and call this bitch out, I'd have said, no, hell no, fuck no, I'm going to the dope man's house, and I'm going to my house. I'm going to my mom's house. And my mom would have never been more proud of me. If I'd been able to explain, if I'd been able to show her, if she'd have believed me, if I'd have been like, all right, let's rewind time, look at that shit. You see what happened right there? She'd been like, you're right, Chance, you should have got to me. Anyway, we got down there. I was 15, fucking around with a 18-year-old girl. Like I said, I like to run split tail and fucking, well, here's me right there. Shout out Mojo Skate Shop in John City, my homeboy. Good people, man. I've been going there since I was like 12, back in 2002. They even put 13-year-old me. Look right there. Anybody knows me when I was 13 years old back in 2003 in Castlewood, St. Paul, Virginia, knows that old Mojo put me on his damn shirt. But anyway, let's get back to the fucking story. I seen one of my baby mamas one time had a little kitten that used to shit yellow shit all the time and worms out no matter how much medicine you give it. And a big red-tailed hawk come down one day after me telling. I told him 3 times. I said that one of them hawks or a big owl's gonna scoop that little son of a bitch off and take him out of here. And it happened. He let go of him at about 40, 50 feet, and you'd be surprised how resilient them little sons. But basically, I told him, you keep fucking around with that shit. It was back in the days like 20 years ago. Nobody knew what fuck around following out. Well, I did. I knew exactly what it was. And it happened to an old boy named Mike. There's always an old dude named Mike shows up in the country trying to party. He got some Xanax moonshine. Big sweat hog named Savannah driving a damn Chevy Lumina. Had the big fucking second people I've seen to have a big back sticker on Lumina that says Chevrolet across the back of it. And you always end up partying. You go partying on the back road to back. I don't know what it is. This is my second or third story. I always ended up partying with a motherfucker that was 10 years older than me, had a bunch of bandages on his hands. You could see the yellow and the salve and the green and shit leaking through. So I know he done some juice shaking a bottle. I'd say shaking a bottle. Or he wrecked a car out. Man, I wrecked my bike. Speaking, you ain't got an extra motorcycle tag laying around, do you? And to make the story short and sweet, I was sitting in the back of that truck with my homeboy and 2 other old girls, and I was watching, and I could look down over the hill, and it went down to a swamp that had a creek run right through the middle of the swamp. That was the bridge. The creek went over the bridge we was parked on. To the right, went kind of uphill, about a 45-degree angle up into some trees and shit where you'd find a bunch of dry land fish. If you keep on going top, you might find some sang or something like that. I watched it. I told everybody there. I said, look yonder coming through the fucking trees. I said, there's something coming for him. And he was, what? I said, there's something coming for him right now. I said, we need to get the fuck up on out of here. We need to make like a goddamn ball and bounce. He wanted to pull that shit like I'm on dope and I'm older and everybody's like be the cool kid shit. So he wanted to start cussing God. He started firing off the middle finger straight up in there and shit. And I was like, hey, he was like, I ain't worried about no Jesus. And I was thinking in my head, holy shit, I should listen to my mama. I said, I don't know what it is, but I can promise you it ain't Jesus and it's coming right towards you, honey. My uncle was a big old motherfucker. He was there with us. He was about 10 years older than me. He was with an old girl named Whitney, and he was over there trying to rip a sign out of the ground to impress her, and he'd hit himself in the fucking eyebrow right there. You ever get popped right there and you know what happens? Like a grapefruit splits right open and shit starts running everywhere. Well, he was over and I was like, hey, Uncle J-Rod, we gotta go. We gotta get the fuck up out of here. And he's like, oh no, what about nephew? So he gets the fucking sign out of the ground. He's bleeding everywhere and he looks so girl and he's like, I got this shit, baby. And she's like, oh my God, you ripped the sign out of the ground. I'm gonna fuck you tonight. And in my head, it translated like, oh, you got a prescription of Percocet. But he swung the whole road sign, like from the dirty shit. You ever pull a road sign, or you ever seen a road sign get pulled? Where I'm from, everybody's got a stash of road sign. If you're from a small town, and you can't take me to a random ass spot in the woods where there's a bunch of road signs hid, I don't fuck with you. But he went to the bottom of it and picked this motherfucker up where the dirt and the clay mud and shit was on the bottom of it, and he swung it twice, and it was like 10 feet long. He was just a big old motherfucker, and he flattened. They had one of them fucking like 4 mailbox things. I know it was like 3 houses right up the road from the haunted bridge, but he fucking whipped that motherfucker and flattened them mailboxes like newspapers. It was crazy. And I turned back around, and I shit you not, I could have just been fucked up, drunk, whatever. You know, I was young. I was snorting a couple pain pills, things like that, smoking a little go-go, hitting a little crack off a Coke can, coming out the damn discount tobacco outlet, blowing that rose stem in the first storm drain I seen. I take it up, heat it up, fold it over, and send it up like a balloon, and then pop, let's drop a rock, son. But I ain't never seen no motherfucking shit like it was coming out that old boy on the bridge, and his hands was all bandaged up, and he was going, "Where's your God now, boy?" Thank God the old girl that was almost 19 and I was messing with, but I just turned 15. She said, "We're getting the fuck out of here, boys." And she fucking peeled out and threw gravels all over that old boy. Well, he whipped around. We whipped around like he was gonna fuck somebody up, throwing them gravels on him. He seen me, and I had a little bit of Jesus stealing me from my mama. That God rest her soul, she was alive at this time, and she was the only woman I listened to. She'd tell me shit, and I'd be like, damn. And when we was pulling away, he was getting smaller, and he still had his hands up. And when he made eye contact with him, I said, "You're fucked." And he looked over in them woods, man. He looked back at me and just dropped his hands and stood there. And we went around the curve, and I never seen the old boy again. To this day, everybody that I was with, I still keep in contact with. And the motherfucker's like, man, you know what's crazy? It's like, I know people that knowed him. And nobody ever was like, man, fucking, you know, within 3 or 4 months, everybody's gonna be like, "Hey, did you see old Mike in the busted papers, old lady in the obituary?" Yeah, he flipped that goddamn Zuzu rodeo off there to hill through the fucking graveyard. But I will tell you one thing, I was terrified because I legit, I saw what I saw. I snorted a little meth, but I'd have passed out and done come too if it had been the fact that it was the drugs, you know what I'm saying? So, the fact I stayed coherent until I went to bed and got up next morning lets me know it's real. But, anybody else ever experienced any shit like that? Just curious.